Hello, nice of you to stop by. If you liked the YouTube video and it helped you, consider subscribing to my channel. That way you'll always get the latest videos. Also, I would greatly appreciate it if you left me a comment or a like. Enjoy watching. The whole world is full of language. According to the Max Planck Institute in Leipzig, there are between 6,500 and 7,000 different languages worldwide. The 7 million inhabitants of the Pacific island state Papua New Guinea alone speak over 800 different languages. Language is astonishing because it reflects what is inside us and in our hearts. One could say there are neutral words, toxic words, and benevolent and appreciative words. Toxic words are those that destructively affect our inner selves, neurologically placing us in the fear zone. There is indeed a fear zone and a love zone. Ideally, we are created to live in love in this world, but unfortunately, much goes wrong. Our hearts have many other regulations, and they are not always constructive. Just think about what words come to mind when a driver cuts you off or treats you unfairly. The fear zone occupies all the parts where anxious thoughts reside, where anger, envy, conflict, devaluation, and all the other toxic things from our hearts are. These are specific thought patterns that are illustrated here. All thoughts are represented with a kind of tree structure, both functional and dysfunctional. Functional thoughts are well structured and bright, while dysfunctional thoughts are dark and frayed. Words that we send out into the world arise from these thoughts. However, they are formed first in our hearts, and then the words come out of us. And these words are either life-giving or not. So it means impulses from the heart, then thoughts and words, then feelings, and then our actions. For example, I have the regulation in my heart and also decide intentionally to forgive someone who has hurt me. My thoughts might be, it's important to me to be a reconciling person. Therefore, I will approach France, even though it's not easy for me, and I am still quite angry. When I make this decision, the result is that good, positive words come out of my mouth, and I verbally offer reconciliation to Franz. The resulting feeling will likely be positive and joyful because it can break a negative spiral and create something positive. Additionally, words have certain vibrations, as we can see from the experiment by the Japanese researcher Masaru Emoto. Although his theories are scientifically doubted, I would still like to discuss a few words about them. Masaru Emoto was born in Yokohama, Japan in 1943. In 1992, he obtained a doctorate in alternative medicine. He became aware of microcluster water developed in the USA and the technology of magnetic resonance analysis. Since then, his entire endeavor has been focused on the mystery of water. Dr. Masaru's worldwide water research was more influenced by his unusual ideas than scientific considerations. In tens of thousands of experiments, he found that water not only stores good and bad information, music and words, but also feelings and consciousness. His research was preceded by the following considerations. Crystals are solid substances with regularly arranged atoms and molecules. Snowflakes, due to their different conditions of formation, never look the same. To have the same crystal structure, the different types of water in the world would need to have the same crystal structure. His theory led him to believe that when a water molecule crystallizes, pure water becomes a pure crystal. Impure water, on the other hand, he thought, would not crystallize as beautifully. Suddenly he realized that he could get an indication of water quality through water crystals. In 1994, Dr. Masaru Emoto began experimenting. He had to freeze all water samples, obtain the necessary equipment, and consider various conditions. Photographing crystals was only possible if, for example, precise cooling temperatures and specific cooling times were adhered to, and also the lighting and the object were correct. Before he succeeded in taking the first picture of a water crystal, he had to use up hundreds or thousands of rolls of film in 2 months. When he finally succeeded, he expanded his lab, and a crystal photography project, as he called it, emerged with several employees. Healthy water forms a hexagonal crystal structure, according to Emoto, and unhealthy water does not. Pure spring water and water treated with love are healthy. Almost all tap water, water from polluted lakes, water containing toxins, or heated in the microwave are unhealthy. Also, exposure to modern music, hard rock, heavy metal, and the presence of disrespectful words make the water unhealthy and prevent beautiful crystal formation. You can think whatever you want about these theories, and perhaps our modern science simply lacks a measurement category for them. I find the thought alone very interesting and fascinating that water absorbs our vibrations, and these vibrations are reflected in the form of the water structure. I would like to give you a few examples from my therapeutic practice now. Especially in couples therapy, it is very important to speak encouraging words because most couples come to me in difficult situations. They often feel like failures and are unsure if they can make it. For this reason, I use a lot of strengthening, positive words to convey to couples that they have many resources, that there is hope, and that they are on the right path. What are such statements? For example, I might say, I find it impressive how you are committed to your relationship. It's great how you both have already overcome so many problems together. The fact that you're both here today shows me how much you care about your relationship. In all the conflicts, I sense love for each other. I find your commitment to the relationship impressive. All such words help the couple to regain courage, and through my confidence, the couple can move forward again. Both in gesture and body language, you can see how much good words do for the individuals. The atmosphere becomes more relaxed, and a positive mood emerges. Then it's a fact. Words have incredible power. One component that people especially need to cope with, sometimes difficult emotional work on themselves, is hope and confidence that it is achievable. Like in a marathon, we need so-called refueling stations along the way, where we receive water and an energy bar. Good, appreciative words are exactly like an energy bar that enables the individuals to keep going. Interestingly, many clients often ask for these good, optimistic words themselves. I am thinking of two specific women who have been in a massive crisis for some time. They regularly ask me if things will eventually get better and if stability will return someday. That's just an important question that I try to answer positively. As you can see from all these examples, good, appreciative words are balm for our soul. I believe the power of good words cannot be overestimated. In the book of Ephesians, in the New Testament, chapter 4, verse 29, it says, "Do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up, according to their needs, that it may benefit those who listen." These words set a very high standard, in my opinion. Our words should be a blessing to others, and we should not speak bad words, not participate in negative talk, and just go along with the flow of talking behind people's backs. That is truly a high demand. If we take that seriously, it will be beneficial for ourselves and others, and that is wonderful. Now let's shift to neuroscience. Language and thinking are closely connected. The brain performs approximately 400 million actions per second. Thinking changes the physical substance of the brain. We are created to change our brains for the better. Thoughts and words are real things and are reflected in the brain. Your mind is separate from your brain, and the way you use your mind will change your brain. I believe God has created us brilliantly because He Himself is brilliant. He has given us the ability to live lovingly and grow in love. This includes good, blessing words that He speaks to us and that we should pass on. There is a love zone and a fear zone. We have the choice in which zone we want to live because we are not victims of circumstances or our genes. In principle, we can live in this love zone if we choose to do so daily and turn our backs on fear. When we connect with divine power, it gradually transforms our character and heart structure, and the words we speak will then also become more loving and appreciative. We will simply perceive our environment differently because we have changed. A neuroscience finding suggests that it takes 21 days to create a new thought and 63 days to transform that thought into a new behavior. The fact is, thoughts are very powerful things. And what we think changes our physical brain structure. Neurons indeed look like trees and shape our brains. From our thoughts come the words that shape the world around us and how we interact with other people. Although toxic thoughts have a massive impact on us and our mental health, there is good news that they cannot destroy 100% of our genome. That is, our genetic material. Studies suggest that 98% of all cancer types come from our thought life. Our thought life then shapes the words we use when interacting with other people. Essential in the healing process is the fact of forgiveness. Because if you haven't forgiven, it's toxic to the brain, also known as neurodegeneration. So if you don't forgive, the mental poison spreads more and more. Forgiveness interrupts this toxic connection. When you forgive, you consciously and actively break the link with the offender or the person who hurt you. Our body reacts to toxic thoughts and words just like a virus. The more we become aware that we have the choice to live in this love zone, the more our lives will be transformed, and we will learn to discipline our minds. In conclusion, I want to remind you that you should be aware that your brain and body were created to live in and for love. This includes healthy thoughts and good words that you are allowed to bring into the world. The more you do this, the more blessings will come into your life. Thank you for listening, and I would be delighted if you forwarded this video to friends. With all my love, many blessings, yours Irene.